Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to talk about NCLEX RN resources for passing the NCLEX in 2021. I recently passed the NCLEX last year, and I want you guys to learn what I did so you can pass the NCLEX in 75 questions. If you want to gain more information about nursing, please consider subscribing down below. I upload a video every single week and you don't want to miss them. Also, be sure to check out my website called www.simplefitnurse.com, where I have a free ebook, a 45-day guide that I created on how I pass my NCLEX and how you can too. It's absolutely free. It doesn't require your email. Just go to my website and download it, and I'll show you how to do that at the end of this video. So let's get on with the resources that I think are useful for passing the NCLEX. The first one is quite obvious, uWORLD. Now, a lot of people think uWORLD is very similar to the NCLEX. That's not true. Unfortunately, the uWORLD testing site, which gives you a testing bank and it gives you a whole bunch of multiple choice questions, approximately 3,000 or 2,500, it does mimic very similarly the way its interface is, but the questions, the difficulty of the questions are definitely not the same. So what I recommend is getting a review book and taking notes and reading that review book very thoroughly. And once you've done that, do practice questions on uWORLD, as it does help solidify what type of answers they're looking for on the NCLEX. I will say that it does that very well. It helps you solidify your knowledge for the NCLEX. However, it is not the actual, it does not represent what the NCLEX actually is like. So I highly recommend that you get at least 60% on every single practice test you do through uWORLD. That means that you are very confident in your knowledge for different topics that the NCLEX loves to test you. So that's what I use to gauge whether I truly understood different areas of the NCLEX. So, for example, I was personally really bad in pediatrics, maternity, and mental health. So I focused a lot on doing practice questions in those three different areas because I knew I needed to be better in those areas in order for me to pass the NCLEX. Because the way the NCLEX works, if you don't know, please check out my other videos, which I go in depth about how the NCLEX works. But essentially, it tests you on the areas you're weak in. And it makes sure that you're not weak in one specific area. It will give you questions on different subcategories and assess your ability to answer different questions. So I knew that I needed to be good in every single category. And as a result, I used uWORLD to strengthen and identify my weak areas. So now you might be thinking, what is a good website that represents the NCLEX very similarly? Well, I personally think Nurse achieves their computer adaptive exam. They have, they give you like maybe 3 or 4. You can check out their website. But essentially that exam, that computer adaptive exam, is very similar to what the NCLEX is. The difficulty in that is very, very similar to what I think the NCLEX was like. And I highly recommend that you check out that website and you go through and read all the different topics in their NCLEX study guide in order for you to get a good understanding of what the NCLEX is going to be like. So that's the computer adaptive testing site that I highly recommend for you to use if you're wanting to see how ready you are for passing the NCLEX. And the reason why I say that is because uWORLD really focuses on topics that you might know. You might know a lot about maternity and mental health, and you might be good in all areas. But the reality of the NCLEX is it will ask you specifics about certain things that don't require, that you can't possibly remember. And for that, you need to have the critical thinking to differentiate between the different types of answers and which one is more correct than the other. And the computer adaptive testing in Nurse Achieve is very, very similar to what the NCLEX was like. So I highly recommend you give that a try and see how you do on it. And let me know if when you write the exam, if it was very similar. I would love to hear your feedback too. The next area that I highly recommend is nursing.com. Now their NCLEX prep course is quite expensive, and to be quite honest, the ebook that they have on the different sections of the NCLEX doesn't go to as in depth as what you need for the NCLEX, but it does give you an idea, and I highly recommend you look at that as well. However, I do think that the videos that they have for different topics are really beneficial, and I highly recommend you check those out. As for their NCLEX, I've read online that it's not really accurate, and personally, I think it's a good way of practicing, but I would definitely think that Nurse Achieve does a better job in their computer adaptive testing than the NCLEX. So like I mentioned, I used a review book called Saunders. Saunders is a great review book because it goes into the depth of what you need for the NCLEX. Like I said, in nursing.com, it doesn't really give you that depth that you need for the exam. However, Saunders goes into specifics about various different topics, and it's quite accurate. A lot of the areas that it makes you review might show up on your NCLEX. And I know it might seem outrageous that that's the scope of what you need to know, but it's definitely accurate. Like, I would say for sure, it's very similar to, like, the content is what you need to know for the actual NCLEX itself. Anyways, guys, those are some NCLEX resources that I recommend. I'm no way affiliated to any of these people. The only thing that I'm affiliated by is the Amazon links for the Saunders textbook itself. If you click on that and you buy through that link, I get maybe like $2 or something like that. Other than that, I'm not affiliated with Nurse Achieve, nursing.com, or any of the other things I mentioned in this video, uWORLD. If you thought this video was helpful, please consider giving it a thumbs up. I'd love to know what your feedback for me is in the comments section down below. And we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.
So first you want to go on to my website www.simplefitnurse.com. Then you want to go on to my books here. And then after that, you want to just click over the book that you want to download and click the download link, and it will automatically pop up in a PDF form. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll catch you in the next one.